Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this month's Vendor Spotlight webinar featuring SafeDrivePod, sponsored by Protective Insurance. I'm Tom Kim with Roadz, provider of the platform powering the Protective Insurance marketplace. So mobile phone use while driving has increased exponentially over the years, creating a distracted driving epidemic. This has plagued fleets and fleet owners with high costs and insurance claims, liability risks, and driver safety risks. Most companies have mobile phone use policies, but these are mainly enforced through an honor system. During this webinar, you will learn how best-in-class fleets are tackling this epidemic using advanced technology to block mobile phone use while driving, thereby proactively curbing the risky behavior. To kick it off, Harry Stork from Protective Insurance will share a few thoughts, followed with a presentation by Paul Hendricks from SafeDrivePod. We'll wrap up this session with a quick guide on how to view the SafeDrivePod solution on the Protective Insurance marketplace. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and we'll address all questions at the end of the session. Now over to Harry.
Thanks, Tom, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining this month's webinar. As Tom mentioned, distracted driving is a huge issue in the transportation space and fleet safety. It's really an epidemic. It's an addiction for many of us. And unfortunately, to date, most fleets manage their cell phone usage, as Tom mentioned, by the honor system. And there really haven't been many tools to help manage your customizable policy on cell phone use. So today we have the benefit of one of our marketplace partners from SafeDrivePod, Paul Hendricks, to talk about their platform and how it may be a fit for your fleet safety programs. So Paul, with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Harry and Tom, thanks for the nice introduction. And first of all, you see also the marketplace screen about SafeDrivePod in Protective. I will do a short introduction about SafeDrivePod. We started in 2016, and key for us was solving the problem of distracted driving, and why I always also was one of them. I was also playing with my phone while driving, but at the end I realized that I also was addicted. Started in 2016, and we now have a major change into our organization. We also have Safe Drive Motion, that is driving behavior. Safe Drive Focus is closing the screen while driving, and Safe Drive Response is a crash detection, and all without the use of GPS. What makes us unique in the complete market is that we work always without the use of GPS, because we care also about the end user who uses our product. They want to use our product, but they also want to have a certain privacy, and that's for us also key. Protective also have already more information about safer roads, safer people, and that's why I want to compliment them, that they are also pushing on this topic, and for us it is really from the heart and very important. If we see some statistics about driving while using the smartphone, it is incredible. And to be honest, 1.6 car accidents every year in the US is huge. 25% of all the damages are related to smartphone use. I don't have to tell you what if we talk about cost, because I don't want to talk about cost tonight. The only thing I want to talk about is how many lives we can save. What we want is that everyone arrives safe at home, and that's it. And what we need to realize is that we need a change in our behavior. I'm not discussing, or I don't, let's say, be negative about the people who are doing this, because we are all human beings. We are addicted to the phone. Let's be honest. We are all doing it while driving. The only thing I want is I want to help you that you can't do it anymore. And what we have seen, and also in all kind of information, is just about talking about the problem, having all kind of campaigns won't work, and that is because our brain can't handle it. We don't only see it in the statistics, we also see it a lot of in the press. I think if you read the newspapers or Google or whatsoever, you see it everywhere that people that there are accidents. The impact is much higher than in the past, but I think drive on the road, watch around you, and you see exactly the same people are doing this. I think what for me was a quite interesting article, to be honest, was an article in Time magazine. Because when we started this company, I thought by myself, I think I'm a quite normal person, but I also was playing with my phone. But in the beginning, and maybe you can also see it in yourself, your own behavior. In the beginning, I was just seeing it, checking it, and afterwards I was reading it. And a couple of months later, I was even texting it. I was that guy driving behind the truck with 80 kilometers per hour and with my knee on my steering wheel and playing with the phone. And my wife mentioned at that time, you're totally addicted. Of course, I denied, but at the end, I realized I have a problem. And the only thing to solve the problem is to make it impossible. And I think that is a big difference in, let's say, driving behavior. Driving behavior, we can talk about, let's say, 50% up, 50% minus, discuss about the driving behavior, etc. But the problem of distracted driving is you can't handle yourself. So what I liked about the article in Time magazine is that exactly what he mentioned is people can't handle this problem. So if we have all kind of billboards, discussions, campaigns, television, whatsoever, it won't change. The only thing what will help is make it impossible. And are people happy in the beginning? No. But at the end, people realize that they arrive safe at home. They are quite more relaxed behind the wheel. And that's what we need to understand. I think all over the globe, people like the American trucks. And this is, I think, the example I want to have. But what we see also in the insurance, so if we see the relation to insurance, we see an increase in premium. And we can say, okay, we want to pay less, but we have to do something. That's what we need to realize. We need everyone to be responsible on this topic. If we have less damages, the costs are decreasing, and then we also pay less premium. So it is in our all benefit that we do something. What I always try to say to people is try also to reflect your own behavior. So when I speak to people, everyone realizes that they're also addicted, that they do exactly the same. Other people are doing it constantly, but they don't realize what their own behavior is. And I think we are adults, to give a quite good example to other people. Now, how does the solution work? First of all, I will talk about the driving behavior part, because we talk about this solution. This is it. This is the hardware. And this is the truck version. This lasts for 1 million kilometers without the change of a battery, no wired. You stick it to the dashboard or you hide it, and that's it. It makes a connection to the phone only once, and that's it. And everything works automatically. About the driving behavior, we see medium acceleration, harsh acceleration, medium braking, cornering, etc. That's nice. That's safe drive motion. But what I try to tell is more about the important part, that's smartphone distraction. So how it works is when you open the door of your truck, it automatically starts the pod itself. It makes the connection to the phone and nothing happens. The moment you start to drive, we see it in the vibration of the pod, we close the screen. Hands-free calling via, let's say, the internal car kit, navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are normal functionality. But you can't interact with your screen. So if you try to find a phone number on your phone, it isn't possible. If you try to watch television, hockey games or whatsoever, isn't possible. The moment you are standing still, within 5 seconds, the screen is open again and you could do whatever you want. So even when your engine is on, you are on the parking place, you still can do everything with your phone. The moment you start to drive again, we close the screen. What is nice about this kind of solution is if you compare it, let's say, to our motion part, so driving behavior, you have to show driving behavior to get a high score. The difference in distracted driving is you always have a 10, and for us, a 10 is great. So you start with gold, to be honest. The only thing you can do is cheating. And cheating is switch off the Bluetooth, throw away the pod, remove the app, and that's it. And everything is shown in the dashboard. So the fleet manager sees exactly what is happening for each driver. The driver itself has the app on the phone and see their own behavior, let's say, or the behavior. They see their own score, but also how they act within their own group. So for a company, if you have, let's say, 1,000 drivers within the company, you see in which score ranking you have. And the fleet manager itself can check per department, per area, per driver, what is happening, and fully in the dashboard itself. This is how the screen looks like. If it is closed, it is closed and you can't interact. This is an Android phone, and that's, I think, also the benefit of our solution. We can close an Android phone, but also an iPhone. And to be honest, an iPhone is the most difficult part, because you can't never close an iPhone from an app itself. You need an external device, and that is the pod. The last part is the crash detection. If there is an accident or a crash, we see exactly at that moment the impact, how many Gs, and this is the only, let's say, exception of our whole solution, is at that moment when there is a crash, we grab the GPS coordinates of the phone and send to the server. So the fleet manager always knows accident has happened, what is the impact, how many Gs, which location of the vehicle, and also the GPS coordinates so they can send help, etc. Wrap up about SafeDrivePod, smartphone-based telematics, hardware-based telematics. We talked to professionals and they all know hardware-based telematics. That was the beginning of the telematics, a hardware solution, expensive. Then now there is more smartphone-based telematics, and we are quite in between. The benefit, we don't use any GPS. We can close the phone on Android and on our iOS. If there is a company, for example, who wants to whitelist an app because they have an internal app, and I can give some examples. For example, G4S has an internal app, and they want to have that app always running. That's also because of safety. All their employees need to click on it every half an hour that they are still alive. We whitelist that app, and the rest of the phone is closed. As you see, we work with insurance companies, we work with leasing companies, we work with big fleets. And at this moment, we are operational in 21 countries. And we have closed a big deal, and we will start in 2022 in 20 other countries. This is a screenshot about the marketplace itself. If you have any questions or you want to see how it works live, don't hesitate, send out an email and we take contact.
Great. Thank you, Paul, for that insightful presentation. So I'm going to take a moment now to do a quick overview of the marketplace. I'm going to put the URL right now in the chat box, and then I'll start sharing my screen. Okay. So the URL is in the chat box if you want to take a look at it after our presentation today. I'll share my screen here. So you'll see here on the home page, there's numerous categories to the left here and solutions to the right. You'll also see we have a spotlight promotional section up here with limited time offers. Here's the one for SafeDrivePod. And you can also view previous webinars that have been hosted and sponsored by Protective Insurance down here on the resources section. And we'll include today's webinar recording here as well. So now let's take a look at the SafeDrivePod solution, which you can either find by scrolling down, or you can click on the associated category, in this case, distracted driving. So I'll click on that and you'll see here the SafeDrivePod solution. So clicking on the card, that'll open up the entire product listing here. And here you'll see a quick overview, the pricing and promotions down here. And there's exclusive discounts for protected clients, a who it's for section, a longer description, a media carousel with featuring highlights and videos, a features and benefits section, and an about us section. And then you'll see also here in the resources section, there'll be additional documents that you can see. To get more information on the SafeDrivePod solution and to speak to their team, you can click on the request info button. And this is pretty much a quick wizard where you can submit your contact and fleet info, and someone from their team will contact you to discuss your business needs. If you're ready to make the purchase, you can click on the buy button here or the free trial, and that'll take you through an e-commerce experience right from the marketplace platform. So there you have it, folks, a one-stop shop to find safety and risk management solutions that will solve your fleet needs. Now, at this point, we'll wrap up with the Q&A portion of the webinar. So let's see. The first question we have here, how can a deployment be successful? And Paul, these will be for you.
Yeah, that's very important. What we have seen in the companies who are quite successful, that it really is top down. So the management of the company needs to feel by the heart that they want to act on this topic and also give the right example. We see also companies where they didn't, and then there is a certain failure because everyone thinks it is not adopted by the management itself. What I want most of the time is that the management gives the right example, and it is also about the storytelling, why you as an organization wants to do it. It's not about cost reduction, because to be honest, the return on investment is huge. So you are earning money, huge amount of money, but most of the time it is important that people realize that they care about their employees. You want that the people arrive safe at home. And if the story is correct, use the right sentence and language, people will act because they understand, because they also go at home, they have their people they love around them, and then they realize.
Great, thank you, Paul. The next question, what would be the expectations for delivery time on my devices?
Yeah, we have always SafeDrivePods in stock. So most of the time we can deliver within 1 week. And we also have enough always in storage, so we can act quite rapidly.
Great. Next question, can this solution be also used on tablets, or is it limited to mobile phones?
Yeah, that's a very good question, by the way. Yes, it can also be used on tablets at the same time. For example, I can mention their name, that is Heineken. We can talk about the quality of the beer, but let's talk about the philosophy. Their philosophy is don't drink and drive, but also not playing with the phone while driving. And for them, we close the company phone and the company tablet, because what they have seen is there is a change in behavior of the people, because now they try to play with the iPad behind the wheel, bigger screen, they can interact. So we can close two devices at the same moment while driving. So company phone, private phone, company phone, tablet, whatever you want. Even a possibility to close laptops while driving, because there was also a truck company where the truck drivers were interacting with their laptops while driving. And I think that's not okay.
All right, great. Looks like we have one more question. How do unions think about this?
Unions.
How do unions think about this?
Yeah, that's quite okay, because most of the time, especially we are quite successful in Germany, and unions and Germans, now that's quite a nice connection. But even there, they realize that the whole program is about the safety of the employee itself. So if the unions understand why, they are totally in favor. And secondly, because we don't use any GPS, we don't track anything. I don't care where people are. The only thing what we do is the moment you move, we close the screen, and that's it.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you, Paul, for that very insightful presentation. And thank you, Harry and the Protective team, for sponsoring today's Vendor Spotlight webinar. Please visit the Protective Insurance Marketplace to look at SafeDrivePod's distracted driving solution and other solutions that can solve your safety and risk management needs. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today for another Spotlight webinar.
Thank you.